So we went from primary producers to downstream. Now let's go back upstream and then talk about the farm equipment sector. It's been a challenging year, I would say, right, in 2024. And not a surprise, really. Producers have seen quite a bit of pressure on their income. Interest rates were high. What should we expect for 2025 when it comes to the farm equipment market?
Yeah, well, no surprise, right? Like it was hard last year. Equipment prices very, very high, especially they're in US dollars, right? And also interest rates in Canada, like being elevated. Plus, we also have found cash receipts that went great right last year, right? So all the ingredients for why sales were weak. And so this year we're expecting a slight improvement. Actually, this chart will actually tell the story why sales were weak last year and why we think it's going to be better this year, right? Slightly better. So last year, equipment cost as a share of revenue was the highest in a decade, right? So no real surprise why sales were weak. We're expecting a slight improvement in that ratio this year, but not a whole lot, right? So sales basically are still going to be challenged, especially, like I said, prices are going to stay elevated because they're quoted in US dollars, right? And our own forecast is for the Canadian dollar not to not appreciate significantly, right? So they're still very expensive, rates are still elevated, and we are expecting from cash receipts to recover a little bit, but again, so high equipment prices, that's going to be a deterrent on demand. What that means is that we might see a shift towards used equipment market where their prices are expected to decline a bit because there's still high inventory levels. So you could see a shift in terms of spending.
Absolutely. So if I try to summarize, pressures on revenues, and we're bringing these pressures into 2025, we see a little bit of improvement. I think we've discussed some of that. Interest rates coming down, but long-term interest rates are not going to move down much from where they are now. And on top of this, that's another sector that's exposed to potentially tariffs. You think of steel tariffs long-term that could actually raise the costs of equipment. And the dollar. Dollar is a big deal, right? It increases the cost of equipment.